Okay, class. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 2 in our workbooks. And the question this time around is, do fat and soap dissolve in the same liquid? So this is 2.1. I'm going to do a teacher demonstration investigating solubility. And what we're going to do, we will make observations as our teacher shows us how to measure solubility in substances in oil and water. So when I ask you some questions, you can write your answers on this page right here. This is basically your note-taking page. So as we turn the page, what we're going to do is we will measure solubility to give us more information about soap and fat. Okay, do you think fat and soap will have the same solubility, and why? Now remember this, solubility is whether basically a substance, if it will dissolve inside of a liquid or not. If it does, it has solubility. If it does not, it does not have solubility. So of course for safety, I'm wearing safety goggles, procedures, and of course if you're here in the lab, you will be doing the same. Based on the procedure that your teacher demonstrated, write your group's procedure in the following box. So you're going to write down here what's taking place. And then over here in the data table, you're going to write down what your observation is for the fat and the soap, and then what happens when we add water, okay? And then your conclusion is, what do your data tell you about another way that fat and soap are different? Write a conclusion about whether soap and fat are different substances. Your conclusion should provide evidence from your data table, okay? So basically what we're doing here is we have water and vegetable oil, okay, and then we have various different substances. We have butter in water and butter in oil, as you can see. We also have road salt in water and road salt in oil. Baking soda in water and baking soda in oil. Each one of these has a stirring rod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 50 milliliters of water to the one with water, as so. Okay. And then the one butter and oil, that is of course where I add the vegetable oil, about 50 milliliters again. Okay. And then again, it's the same thing with these other substances. I have road salt in water, so I add water. Okay. About that amount. And then I have road salt in oil. Okay. And then baking soda in water. And then baking soda in oil. So then what we do is we observe what happens to these chemicals. And we use a stirring rod appropriate to each one to mix them up and see if we can get results here. To see if the substance, fat in this case being butter, does it disintegrate when it's in water? What does it do exactly? Same question, when we put it with oil, does it disintegrate, or basically is it soluble? Okay, so we mix it up a little bit, see what happens, give it a couple minutes here. Okay. Yeah, we can just leave it like that. And then again, road salt and water, what exactly is taking place here. Now remember, if a substance is not soluble in a liquid, which would be the solvent, then it would basically remain as is, and the liquid would continue to look the way it is. So you would see a clear separation between the two. However, if it is soluble, you start to see a change in the color of the liquid and the substance as well. You start to see that the substance appears to disappear, basically. Okay, so I'm mixing road salt and oil, seeing if there is a significant change that takes place here. And then, of course, baking soda and water. And ideally, whenever mixing these together, it's good to have the vegetable oil and the water slightly warmed because that actually speeds up the solvency, if there is in fact solvency between a substance and a liquid, the liquid being the solvent. Okay, so I'm mixing these, giving them a couple minutes. This is where you write down your observations, the fat and the soap. Okay, so just take a look at what we have here. The salt, the fat, member, is the butter. Okay, and we got the baking soda and the road salt. And just notice with your observations, what do you notice? Do you see any of these kind of being changed less than others? Okay, so again, this is the road salt in water. You know what happened there. Road salt in oil. You know, what does that look like? Baking soda in water. Do we see a change? Does it look the same? Is there a clear separation or not? Baking soda in oil. Again, asking the same question. You know, if you see a change in coloration in the liquid and the substance is no longer visible, then you see a clear sign of solubility in that liquid. Okay, so again, you can mix these just a little bit more if you want to. Here's the butter and water. Okay, and notice what's going on here with the butter and the oil. That is the road salt and water. There's road salt and oil. Baking soda and water. And baking soda and oil. Okay, so again, just take a look at your sheet, see if you can answer these questions, and I will walk around and help you out and make sure that you're doing this. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and then we will move on from here to the reading section.